So it's a good little tip you guys should see. As we see foreplay pick up a wonderful headshot before they will foreplay. And foreplay is continuing to dominate everyone right now.
What up, channel? This is Foreplay, and this is the Pro Scene number 9. As always, I'm here with Sharp, and today we're going to be discussing preparation for tournaments and how you should be getting ready for these big matches, whether they're online or a LAN setting. Sharp, if you want to go ahead and start and basically just introduce them into getting ready for a tournament.
All right, so basically, you're playing these tournaments. Your team's ready. You got your team set. Your 4-man team playing in whether it's 360 icons or it's on the game battles. Before you go into this tournament, you need to have an idea of what you guys are going to do. You can't just get on 10 minutes before the match and then just go in and play. I recommend getting on like an hour before the tournament, making sure your shot's warmed up, and then go over the maps you're playing. If it's an S&D only tournament, go over every S&D map that's in the tournament. Make sure you and your team knows what you're doing. Make sure you know what your teammates are doing. And then in CTF, just go over your breaks on every map.
Yeah, another thing, hopefully by now you guys have advanced your game enough to where you're able to play in these tournaments. And if you still don't feel ready, just jump in. You need to attempt a tournament and try it. If you're really trying to make that transition from public gaming to competitive, try to switch it. Like, try to make that transition and just do it. Even if you lose, it's fine. There's frag cups you can play in. There's all these free entry tournaments. There's even ones you can buy credits for if you really want to try at those 2v2s and stuff like that. But if it's like a playoff match or something for game battles, then what's cool about those is you can see the maps that you have to play. So you'll know the lineup for the maps. And then you can go over those. You can only scrim those for 2 days. You can scrim those over the weekend if your match is on Monday. So that's like one of the better things, I guess. Also, do you want to tell them about nervousness and maybe talk about that?
Yeah, one of the big things that you want to try to avoid is being nervous. You're not going to play well if you're nervous, you're antsy. You're going to try to do stuff that you're not used to doing. You're just going to be uncomfortable while playing. So,
yeah.
Try to do things. Take deep breaths. Just feel more comfortable with your team. Have confidence. Just really be confident when you play.
Yeah, today's quote of the day is going to be confidence kills nerves. So be confident, focus on what you're about to do. I know with anything, whether it's sports or gaming, just be confident. Be confident in not only yourself, but be confident in your team. You need to know what not only you're doing in a game, but your teammates are doing as well. So make sure you stay focused on those things and pay attention to detail. Also, don't try to do too much, overextend to win a game, because that's going to be the same stuff that backfires and makes you lose. I also want to talk to you about losing the opening map. Sharp, do you want to explain losing the opening map and then also what it's like to have the better maps going in your situation, like in a lineup?
All right. Well, if you say your team comes out, you come in a search and destroy tournament, you play first round, and you get 4-0'd right off the bat. Don't get down. Don't get discouraged. Don't just sit there and think, oh, we're just gonna lose this. Bounce back from that. Take that and get your team's head in the game. Go into the next match with confidence that you're gonna win, and say you see a map that you like later in the lineup in the thing. So maybe the first map wasn't your team's map, and then one of your better maps is second. And just don't go into that map down. Play that like it's the first round of the tournament. Play it's like the first map that you play today. And the same applies if you're playing in a search and destroy tournament. You're down 0-3. I always say, all right, this is round 1. Forget those 3 rounds we just lost. We're starting from round 1.
Yep. And also, every team is going to have better maps. Like in COD 4, Crash was one of our most dominant maps in Search and Destroy, as well as Strike. We had strats that we felt we could just dominate teams with. So if we lost the map prior to that, we'd be like, fine. It's now Crash, so it's what we need to do. Same thing for MW2 with Invasion, or Hard Hat S&D. Or not Hard Hat, High Rise, I'm sorry. Those maps right there were our go-to maps, so even if we lost, it's fine. And getting down, if you're ever down in an 0-3 situation, like Sharp said, start it over. The game just started, and you're going to sweep them 4-0. You're going to come back and win that game 4-3 and have one hell of a story when you say, we came back on this team, and it's just going to mean so much more. But never get down, and another thing, I'm going to put Sharp on the spot here. The other day, Sharp, Fearless, and Dito, and I believe Proofy were in a tournament, and I was watching them play. It might have been just a GB match, and I had some extra time, and I was in one of their live streams, and I was watching, and they were so busy complaining about wall hacks that they almost let the game slip by them, and they ended up winning the game overall because they finally got that patience and settled down a little bit. And not trying to put you on the spot here, Sharp, but it was one of those things where they were complaining so much that they let the game kind of slip away from them, and they almost lost it just because they lost the map. I personally think the other team was just catching them in the off spots, and whenever you start losing, especially being a dominant team, like I said before, you create this monster, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe we're losing. Now we're going to find excuses, when ultimately, like, yes, you can get cheated, but the biggest thing is staying on track and staying focused.
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, you can get into the game, and a lot of times we like to relate back, with other stuff other than gaming, like sports. Take for example basketball. What do you see every time there's a foul called? Every time there's a ref calls something, a player's always complaining. So I mean, there's complaining in both things, but you want to try to stay away from that. For the most part, I try to stay away from complaining, but sometimes I just get into the game and I'm just like, man, come on, what is this? And I just can't believe something's happening. But you really want to try to keep your head in the game and try to quit complaining about stuff.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. This is preparation for tournaments. We wanted to make this one quick just because we had a quick inbox question for it. And as always, just keep the questions coming and we'll try to get them answered. I hope this series is helping. This is Foreplay and Sharp of the Eagle Killer Nation and Team Envious. As always, keep dominating your game. Peace.
Hey.
We've captured the enemy flag. We have the enemy flag. Solar flag. The enemy dropped our flag. Enemy flag down. Enemy dropped our flag. We dropped their flag. Our flag's back. Captured their flag. They returned their flag. Got their flag. Keep on them, we're winning this one. closed up.